I am Agatha of the Elite Four. I hear Oak's taken a lot of interest in you, child. That old duff was once tough and handsome, but that was decades ago. He's a shadow of his former self. Now he just wants to fiddle with his Pokédex. He's wrong. Pokemon are for battling. Rosette, I'll show you how a real trainer battles.
Oh, and by the way, I have a major crush on Professor Oak. I'd like to get to know his Oak, if you know what I mean.
Welcome back to the Elite Four.
Yeah, we're gonna
where you take on basically I want to say the hardest one, but not if you
Lance's hardest.
Lance's hardest. And then yeah, I would say a very close second would be Agatha, just because a lot of people might not necessarily walk in with a weakness for Ghost. And yeah, because she was a Ghost and Poison Master, wasn't she?
Yep. Always has, and those Gengars can do a lot of damage if you're not ready for them.
Indeed, especially if they have things like Nightshade on them. And here comes Golbat.
The Golbat.
I'm sorry, that's his Golbat. You're going to bring out Vaporeon because you never named Vaporeon.
I never could think of a good name for it.
I think we gave you some names.
Oh, you didn't?
What did we suggest?
I think the previous parts had it. I can't remember what they were. I think we came up with a name. Or no, what we did was we asked people to come up with a name. And I don't think it ever happened.
I told you it wasn't
So that's
happen.
on you guys. That's why he called him Vaporeon, because you couldn't come up with anything.
I told you it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so welcome back to Pokemon Leaf Green as we take on the last two of the Elite Four and then move on to the greater challenge of all of this.
Real sick of your shit here, Vaporeon.
And wow, your Vaporeon is getting her ass kicked. Or I guess getting his ass kicked.
Yes.
Quite a bit. I know what the symbols mean. I know how they work. And bye. What the heck, man? And here comes Reachon. Is she gonna play on the drums?
Yeah, she's gonna play the drums.
With thunder.
With thunder.
She gonna bring the thunder. All right, so we have that, and yeah, we've got Arbok still.
Charbok.
That's kind of funny that Arbok ends up in her party.
It is a poison type, so.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, clearly it should have been a Survivor because Arbok evolves into Survivor, right?
Or the other way around, whatever it was.
That's funny that somebody thought that it evolved into that.
What didn't that whole thing happen? Like at the very end, it happened with like a ginormous question mark. It's like not even the person who was editing this knew if it was the other way around or not.
No, just somebody had the wrong information.
They, in fact, very much did. Ah!
I know, it sucks.
Oh, and Iron, you're done.
Oh, really?
Bye, Professor X.
Logan.
Hello there, Dougie Doug. Can you come and create a bobsled team for us? Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. I was actually trying to think of other movies that Dougie Doug was in, and the only one that ever came up was the Christina Ricci That Darn Cat.
Yeah, I remember that because it was on Disney Channel a lot.
That was a weird movie.
It's That Darn Cat.
That darn cat. Now, before we go any further, considering recent events, I think it's only appropriate for us all to hold a moment of silence for the greatest among us, Stanley. As we literally found out about an hour before we were recording today that Stanley has passed away at the age of 95.
Yep. Well, goodbye, Stan.
We'll miss you.
Stan, you were a giant among men, as you held up so many on your shoulders and helped them reach for the stars.
Hey folks, I want to talk to you about Spider-Man. You see,
Yes.
back in the 60s, comic book superheroes, they weren't teenagers. Teenagers were the sidekicks. But I wanted to create a teenage superhero that teenagers could identify with. So I created Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man.
We're gonna miss you, Stan.
Yeah.
And for you, Excelsior. Now that we've had that sad moment, let's go ahead and talk about some crap. It's one of those things that's very sad. Like I'm sad to see him go, considering like all of the awesomeness that he has provided for so many generations of kids.
Yep.
But the bottom line is that I'm also kind of bittersweet. I'm kind of bittersweet about it because he was not having a good year this year.
Yeah.
Lots of crap happened to poor Stan this year. And so at that point, this is probably for the best because at this point I know that he's with his wife and they're probably off enjoying their life together somewhere. I'm trying to skirt the issue without pissing people off, but you know, I'd like to think that they're wherever they are, they're happy.
Yeah.
So if that makes me evil, I'm sorry. But not really. Because I'd like to think that, considering that Stan did a lot in his life. The man went through war. The man went through war in the comic book industry. The man continued to dedicate himself even when people were trying to sell off his blood. It was not a fun year for him, and
I
so
cannot believe they would try to get away with that.
What did I say? That's greed for you.
Yeah. I don't have any other. A lot of people have problems with I'm trying to think of a way to be able to do this without getting all political, but a lot of people tend to blame stuff like that on capitalistic behavior, and it's not. It's greed. Capitalism is just a set of ideals and can be easily corrupted by things like greed. All you have to do is have greedy intentions in mind, and so in a lot of cases, that's what this was. It was nothing more than greed. That people wanted to capitalize on the kindness of Stan Lee, and that's what happened. And it sucks.
Yeah.
Because the guy gave his life, like literally his passion, his life, his love for comic books. He created characters that no one will forget. And despite whether or not people like the guy or hate the guy, Cap is going to live forever. Spider-Man is going to live forever. Just as much as, I can't remember the brothers, but I think it's the Schuster brothers who created Superman.
Oh, it wasn't brothers. It was Joel Siegel and Jerry Schuster.
Thank you. I knew one of them was Schuster.
Yeah.
Siegel and Schuster, the fact that they created Superman is going to live forever.
And one other guy, right? There's always like that third guy who always gets the shaft in history, kind of like Bill Finger with Batman.
See, the problem is that like, since I'm a Marvel kid, I know Marvel's history. DC's history is huge.
Yeah.
And I've heard numerous testimonies on it. I've heard there's a third guy. I've heard there isn't a third guy. So I don't even know anymore, and I don't even want to make the claim that I do.
Yeah. I think there is a third guy, like just like Bill Finger with Bob Kane. Like there's always that one.
Well, I mean, for like a lot of people give Spider-Man the credit for Spider-Man the credit to Stan Lee, and then they completely forget Steve Ditko, who actually worked on that.
Yeah. Jack Kirby too, right?
Or Jack Kirby with Fantastic Four and the Hulk.
Yeah.
When he was the artist, kind of thing. So it's one of those things that really sucks. But I mean, I'm not going to deny that Stan has had a lot of contributions. And despite what people may think of those cameos, those were lots of hard work for Stan. It was not easy for him to be able to pull them off. It wasn't easy for him to stand at a bar to do the Ant-Man one.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy for him to stand there with a weird thing in his hand for Thor Ragnarok. It took effort. He was in his 90s.
I mean, the good thing is they filmed a whole bunch of those, so we'll be getting...
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if like we're still gonna get a Captain Marvel and a Avengers 4
cameo.
Oh yeah, because they filmed a whole bunch of those well in advance, so
Yeah.
I don't know how many there are and how long they're gonna last, but I'd say the next batch of films we're gonna still see some.
What I'm really kind of hoping is that he didn't do a Volume 3 one, or a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 one, because that ain't happening.
Yeah, I mean, if they... Probably not, because I don't even know what stage that movie's in production before they got rid of James Gunn, but...
The script had been written,
Okay.
and that was it.
So they would have to trash that script.
Yeah, they're probably gonna...
James will keep it, but Disney won't keep it. I'm pretty sure that James has the original draft, and so he'll keep that for time immemorial and just put it in a safe somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Which is sad, because I'd love to read it and see what he actually wanted to do with it. Uh-oh, are we teaching Hail to Vaporeon?
Yeah, this is a decision I'm regretting now. I really wish I didn't bother with Hail, because there's a move I wanted to learn later, and I couldn't.
Why couldn't you?
Because I had Hail.
And?
Oh, wait.
Oh, did you want to teach him, like, Ice Beam or something?
No. Oh, wait. It's a different move. I can't remember now. There's another move. You'll see when we come to it.
Okay.
Yeah, like Ice Beam. I want to teach him Ice Beam later, but for some reason I was already set. But
there you go.
The move pool was... But something with the move pool. I can't remember exactly my decision and reasoning here.
And here we are.
I've heard about you, Rosette. I lead the Elite Four. You can call me Lance, the Dragon Trainer. You know that dragons are mythical Pokemon? They're hard to catch and raise, but their powers are superior. They're virtually indestructible. There's no being clever with them. Well, are you ready to lose? Your league challenge ends with me, Rosette. There's no fairy type yet, so a level 100 Clefairy can't possibly take down my Dragonite.
And also, by the way, can I just point out, you are the master of 3 Pokemon in this gen. Because Dragon type existed for 3. Even though Gyarados could technically learn Dragon moves, there were 3 that officially held the Dragon type in this. And they were all an evolution of each other. So technically, it's not even 3, it's 1. Because Dratini becomes Dragonair, and Dragonair becomes Dragonite. And that's the majority of this guy's team. So to call yourself a Dragon Master, I'll admit, like, when I first heard that, I laughed. Because I'm like, you're the master of 3 different Pokemon. There's not, like, Misty has more cred than you. Because there's so many more water Pokemon.
Until later gens when there will be more dragon types introduced.
Yeah, but they weren't even, like, we didn't even get a new dragon type, I think, in Gen 2. We had to wait till Gen 3 to get one. Because I think we all thought that Larvitar, Pupitar, and oh crap, what's the last one? Tyranitar. We all thought that was going to be the next dragon, and it turned out to be like a ground and a dark. It was like, okay, so what about the... I think the only dragon type we actually got out of it was Kingdra. And Kingdra was an evolution.
Yeah.
So it took Gen 3 to give us more dragon types. And also more Pokemon that could use dragon.
Earthquake!
We don't care about you, Dragonair. We're gonna kill you. There you go. But yeah, there's not really a whole lot of reason to dwell too much on Stanley. I mean, it's a crying shame that he passed away, but
95, he lived a real long time.
Yeah, he really did. And I mean, even at 95, he was still going to cons and making appearances.
Yeah.
So, like, we're talking a guy who gave himself for the industry he loved.
But in some other great lighter news, we might be getting a new Fruits Basket anime after 18 years.
Really?
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I've been lied to so many times in this regard. I don't believe you.
I don't know what to say. You don't believe me. I don't.
What's the details this time?
We don't know. That's the problem. It's just something. Something's been apparently announced. Something's apparently announced that a new quote unquote anime is listed, but we don't have any official details as of yet.
So we don't know who's doing it.
Nope.
We don't know if the original mangaka is involved.
She probably will be.
Okay.
I'm sure.
By Vaporeon, by the way.
Yeah. Damn fucking Aerodactyl, this piece of shit Aerodactylness.
This piece of shit Aerodactylness. Okay.
Oh, god damn it! My last Frenzy Planet it missed!
Oh, darn.
So I just lost a turn.
And here comes Hyper Beam. Ouchies. Here's hoping you have more revives. Took in sunlight. And now he
Aerodactyl must recharge.
So you get Solar Beam. Well, if this doesn't kill him, I'm gonna laugh. Ah, there you go. If he had actually made it to 1 HP, that would have been hilarious.
Salad the second grew to level 44.
So you could technically say that he was Salad Jr.
Yes, Salad Jr.
All right, so now we need to bring in Professor X. Are we down to? Yep, it's time for Dragonite.
It's time for the parade of Dragonites.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you fought it with Professor X, that would probably be the bad idea. Safeguard.
That's perfect. I can take another moment to heal.
Man, it's level 16. You're only like 49.
Yep. This is gonna be a uphill battle here.
See, for me, that would bother me so bad if I was coming in at 49 and level 60. That ought to tell the difference between me and Alex's leveling ethic. I would literally walk in here 65, and it's just because I like being overpowered. I like it. It's fun.
There's no suspense if we... Damn it. Well, there's no suspense if we can't be a little underpowered. We're the underdog trainers. We're supposed to win by the skin of our teeth.
Yeah, but you also have to work hard to become a Pokemon Master.
Yeah, and that's
what
how...
I did. I worked hard, and therefore I worked harder than everybody else.
Pokemon Master! Anyway, so yeah, sadly we don't have any precise exact details of when or what this new Fruits Basket anime will be. We're all holding our breath in anticipation.
You are. I'm not, because I've been led down this path before. I will believe it when I see a trailer. I'm officially at that point with certain series, and Fruits Basket is one of them, where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do another series. I'm like, no, you're not.
Well,
no trailer has ever materialized.
Of course not, but that's because it's always been based on like other people who want to do it. Like Funimation wanted to do it, but the problem was they couldn't get anybody on board. But the fact this is coming out of Japan and not from somebody else makes me more confident this is gonna happen.
Yeah, possibly, but again, I want to see a trailer before I actually believe it.
Well, I don't. No,
Yeah.
you don't.
I'm just that skeptical now, like, over certain anime. Like, I keep on hearing about this is gonna get a remake, or this movie's gonna be done live action, and I'm literally of the cynical opinion of, like, until I see a legit trailer, I don't believe you. So I mean, if it happens, it happens, and I am more than happy enough to be proven wrong. Let's put it that way. I'm more than happy enough to be proven
I
wrong.
never pay attention to anime trailers. So the official website for Hakusinisha, I can't ever say that, Hana to Yume magazine is listing the cover for this year's 24th issue of the magazine, which lists a new anime adaptation for Natsuki Takiya's Fruits Basket manga. The magazine will officially ship on November 20th. The announcement image features text Zenpen, which means the entire story. So unfortunately, yes, that's all we know so far.
So it's basically going to be the equivalent of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's actually going to follow the manga.
Probably so.
Believe it when I see it!
Yeah, we'll just have to wait.
Pretty much. I wish I could say that I had a higher outlook for it, but I really don't. It's just because I've read these rumors for years, and
Well, this isn't a rumor. This is an official announcement.
fine. An official announcement that's vague enough that it can be redacted 5 years later. But you are, I hate to admit it, but you are a Pokemon master. Would you like to wear my snazzy dragon uniform? As I am the only dragon master.
I still can't believe my dragons lost to you, Rosette. You are now the Pokemon League champion. Or, you would have been, but you have one more challenge left.
Hey, I was told 4.
There is one more traitor to
4.
face. His name is Botlet.
That bastard.
He beat the Elite Four before you. He's the real Pokemon League champion.
Then technically isn't it the Elite 5?
Elite Four plus champion.
I'm gonna go with Elite 5.
Shut up.
Because that's what it's supposed to be. Except in other games, I think they just keep it to 4, don't they?
It's always 4 plus your rival.
And that's gonna go ahead and do it for this episode.